Hey guys, what's going on? This is ronin1011 for Zivix Education, and we're back with another tutorial for Cinema4D. If you watched the last tutorial, it was on camera and camera movement. We used the free camera and the target camera, and we learned how to use that. We learned how to tweak it a little bit, get in there and do a little, little tiny movements to make it look better. This time what I want to talk to you about is multiple cameras. We're going to do multiple cameras this time. And this is a tip that I learned doing multiple big animations, character animations. I've done it for logo animations. I've done a lot of different things. But what this does is it enables you to do really complicated and cool camera moves without having to use one camera and freaking keyframe 100 keyframes. Because like we learned last time, the least amount of keyframes are going to be the best way you want to go when you create camera movement, okay? Least amount of keyframes, better camera movement. So this time around, I'm going to use my logo again. I've already set this up, and basically the premise on this logo animation here is to have the camera fly across the word Ronin, and then again across 1011, and then I wanted to zoom in to, from a wider angle. I want to zoom in to show it, kind of like the last animation. Okay, so basically, something a little different. Okay, so basically, I've set up this camera here, as you can see here, and you can see the paths. All right, I'm going to show you what that looks like right now. Okay, so I've set it up to do this. All right, it goes across Ronin, but the problem is once it gets here, what do? With the single camera, there's not much I can do, unless I want to. Have it curve around. So what I did was I had to bring it down, and I shouldn't have zoomed out like that. That was ridiculous. I'm kind of screwing this up a little bit here, but is that on there? Yeah. Cinema4D is very weird when it comes to cameras. Anyway, so I have it going here, and then when I have it snapping down, and then snapping across to do the next animation. I know it looks very weird. And then I have it going back up, and the problem is with this camera is I can't seem to have it zoom back out for some reason, which is perfect to illustrate why using one camera to do a complicated camera movement for your logo animation is not going to work. So you might be saying, what the hell is he trying to accomplish with this? Well, this is what I'm trying to accomplish. Okay, I'm trying to accomplish this going across Ronin, and then again 1011. Now if I were to use this and cut this up later, I have it set so that I have it go one frame cuts down, another frame cuts over, and then I could cut those two frames out and then cut to this part of the animation where it goes 1011. Okay? And it's not framed properly or anything, I know that, but again, this is just for, to show you that this is a really crappy camera movement using this kind of setup. It's just not cool, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work out. Okay, so for this type of situation, again, it's not a very complicated movement that I'm trying to do, but it's something that's going to need multiple cameras, and multiple cameras are going to accomplish everything that I want to do. Okay, so let's go to the next one, and now as you can see here, oh crap, did I wait? Hopefully I didn't mess with that. Nope. Okay, this is just perspective. This is a good one. Okay, so you can see here I have three cameras. If you look here, I've got camera 1, 2, and 3. All right, and if you look up at the top, okay, this here is camera 1. This is camera 2, and this one. I think this one's camera 3. Yep, camera 3. All right, and you're going to see the movement that I'm about to do. Okay, so you see. So let's look at this one first. Boom. Ronin, and then stops. All right, Ronin stops. If I hit play button in real time, boop, Ronin stop. Okay, and then I'll go back here, start here, next camera. Boom, 1011 stops. Okay, very simple. And then we go here, bloop, zooms in. Perfect. That's what I want. And now what I can do is, because I have these three cameras, I have more control. I don't have to worry about 700 keyframes just to get one camera movement. And that's the whole point of this series. I just wanted to show everybody, young and old. No, I just wanted to show everybody that to do camera animation, logo animation, you don't need a lot of keyframes, and you can use these tips and things to make your animations look good, not have wacky, weird camera movements. I've seen projectiles come out of things where it zooms into the gun or something, and then it fires something out, but it's the camera movement's following it, and it's all curvy and weird. And no, guys, you don't need to do that. Okay, remember, the least amount of keyframes possible. Okay, you can do a lot in a few different keyframes. Now, I've set each of these animations. I have the first camera starting. I have the camera 1 going from 0 to 15. That's this one up here. I have camera 2, same thing, 0 to 15. Okay, and I'll show you why in a second. And then I have the third camera going from 0 to 30. Okay, so that's going to be a second. So I want that to last a second. Now, these parts up here, well, actually, I already stretched this out. I didn't like 15 frames. I kind of wanted it to be a little bit longer, so you could see the thing. If I have it at 15 frames, I move this keyframe to 15 frames like I originally had it. It goes too fast. Okay, when you hit play in the window, it's more or less real time. You know, I mean, you can get a good feel for it. Okay, but I'm doing quick movements here, and that just seemed too quick to me. Okay, what's going to happen is it's going to go Ronin, cut, 1011, cut, and then zoom in. That's how the finished product is going to be. But that looks too quick to me. Okay, again, you got to keep in mind, if last time we went over 30 frames equals 1 second. Got to keep in mind when you're making your animations, don't just say, oh, that looks like a cool move. Yeah, you made a really cool move, but you did it in 25 seconds. That's less than a second, so it's going to be really fast, and no one's going to get the nuance of what you did and everything. And you put 70 keyframes within 25, within not a second, and it's going to look weird. So you got to keep in mind your timing of your animation. Okay, you wouldn't want to see a 2-hour movie in 45 minutes. Okay, it would look like crap, and you wouldn't even know what's going on, and that's what happens with these logo animations. So you can take your keyframe, you can move it any way you want, okay, and it's going to keep every single parameter you have. It's just going to stretch it, and that's exactly what I want to do. Okay, boom. Okay, it's still quick, but guarantee you, it's a lot better. Now, I'm doing this on purpose because, I want people to be like, oh, what? Oh, okay, Ron. People will understand what that means. Boom, they'll see that, and they'll be like, okay, Ronin, like, even if they don't get it right away, your mind will, sorry, hit the mic. Your mind will maintain what it saw within the last 1 or 2 or 3 seconds. I don't know. Your mind retains that so it can form a complete picture within a 5-second interval or something like that. And I don't know. I learned that somewhere or in film class or whatever I did. But so by making this 1 second, okay, boom, your mind's going to remember that, okay, and then we're going to switch over to this one, and it's going to be again another second long, okay. I actually think that's a little too long. I would probably bring it down, but I'm just showing you, the moving the keyframes and stuff like that, and the timing and stuff. And I'm losing my voice. I need to take a little sip of water. Hold on 1 second, guys. Sorry. So, like I was saying, so that's going to be a second, and then I have the last piece, which is also a second, because a second, a zoom for a second is pretty good. Boom. Okay, it looks pretty good. All right, so that's multiple cameras. Okay, now the next thing I want to show you when you do multiple cameras is how do I render this out? Well, you could render them all out separately. You go to your render settings in here in Cinema4D, and you can, I've been using, I use the preset HDV HDTV 720 29.97 because that's roughly, it's that's essentially 30 frames per second. But there's a thing called drop frame time code, and every some odd frame it drops half a frame or something like that, and it works out to be 29.97. I don't know, you can look it up, but that's called drop frame time code anyway. But that works perfectly for everything. Okay, it's essentially 30 frames per second. So this is a preset I use. Now you want to set your frame range. Okay, this is why I did this. What I'm going to do is I can set I can pick what camera I want. Okay, and I can render it out each individual piece. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the render queue. Okay, and we should clear that. It should have been cleared. Yeah. Okay, what the render queue does is I can set up multiple files to render, multiple cameras to render, and then let it go, and then when it's done, I can combine it. I don't have to do it. Don't have to do each one by themselves and waste that time. So very quickly, I'm going to show you how to use this render queue. Okay. What I'm going to do is, let me just see. Do I have load preset? Yeah, I don't need that. Excuse me. Actually, let me load this preset. I made a preset that runs from 0 to 30 frames per sec. 0 to 30 frames, so I can for the render queue, and I'll show you that why in a second. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to camera. I can do one of two things. I can, in the render queue, I can say add current project. Okay, and it's asking me, you can't add anything to the render queue unless you save it first. So it's going to save it. Boom. It's now going to set camera 3 right into the render queue here. Okay, now we need to mess with these parameters. Okay. Basically, whatever you have in here in your render settings is what it's going to use for the render queue. Okay, so what I need to do is I'm going to go to save, and I'm going to actually just save this. I'm using the Camtasia screen capture codec because it's really cool. It's really small file size, and it's really good quality. So I use that. Regular settings, boom. I just wanted to make sure that I have that in there. Go to the render queue. Here are your settings here. Okay. I'm gonna use what's in here, okay, 0 to 30 frames, because this camera is 0 to 30 frames. All right, I'm not doing any extra frames. I don't need any extra frames. It's fine, okay. I'm gonna make sure that it's on camera 3 because that's the one I want. I'm sorry, that was actually camera 1, okay. I don't know why for some reason it makes a default camera for some reason. I don't know, but I'm using camera 1, so I'm gonna change this to camera 1, okay. And then what I'm gonna do is, what you're going to do is you're going to save it. You're going to, call it whatever you want. I'm going to C4D cam 2 1. Oh, looks like I already have it in there. All right, we'll call it camera 1. Okay. So boom. All right. So I'm going to save it, and it's going to save it as that AVI that I had it set at. Okay. So there's that one. Now the other way I can add it, okay, let me try if I select camera 2 in the window for camera 2. I could also put it, wait, where was it? I can also go here again in the middle, and I can do add to render queue this way, okay, and it's asking me to save again. Boom. Okay, so now, again, here's the second one. Okay, and for some reason, again, it's defaulting to camera 3, so I'm going to make it camera 2. Make sure you set your camera 2. It's going to use the default settings. Again, camera 2 was also 0 to 30. Okay, did I move this? I think I did move this, though. Oh, no, I have to move this back. Hold on. I think I moved it. There we go. All right, there we go. Okay, so, and then what I'm going to do is, the third camera, okay, camera 3, I'm just going to go add current, and it's going to do camera 3. We're on camera 3. That's what we want. Now, it's naming these themselves. I'm going to go back in and just name it. It'll incrementally name it. I'm just going to name it cam 2. I'm not really working with that. I don't really care right now what it's going to call it, but I'm just going to rename this to camera 3. All right. I'm running out of time here, so I'm going to render this, and then basically to render this, they're all 30 frames per sec, 30 frames, which is good. So it's going to all render 0 to 30. Okay. So to render this, I'm just going to go and I'm just going to hit start render. Boom. And you click on it, and it's going to render it for you, and it's going to show you everything. Okay. So let me let this render, and then when it comes back, I'll show you. Hey guys, we're back, and I actually had to re-render a couple things because I messed up on the keyframes. But in any case, we're back, and I want to show you we're done with the rendering. I put it together in Premiere, and I just want to show you what it looks like with some tweaking to it and some fades and everything. So if you look up here, check it out. And there you go. That's it. That's what it looks like. Okay, not the best. Like I said before, I don't claim to be a logo animator. And I could have, whatever. I could have done a light room, edited some cool stuff, a different texture, this and that. But it is what it is. But I just wanted to quickly show you that you could do multiple cameras and have it work out really well. Trying to do that with one camera would have been, forget it. It would have been a nightmare. So anyway, that's it, guys. I hope you liked it. Please leave comments. Let me know what else you want to see. Try and come up with some other cool tips that I use here and there, and maybe I'll even do some 3D Studio Max for you. That's it. Please check out Zefix TV, Zefix Education, Zefix Fame, and my channel, ronin1011. Subscribe, like, and everything, because we're all awesome. See you later.